Being an American means many things. Technically, it's being born in America, or being naturalized. However, socially, the culture of America is created from a complicated set of ideals. From voting to owning guns, America was founded on this idea of inherent rights for everyone. The most important of these is the First Amendment. Each one of them is essential to the American ideal. First, freedom of speech. I hate the government, and I think it's dumb. I think Congress makes dumb laws, and I interpret the Constitution differently than the Supreme Court. I can shout this all to the rooftops because of our Bill of Rights. The right to speak your mind is not a right all countries share. South Korea is one such country where making supportive comments about North Korea can get you deported. This happened to Shin Eun-mi, a Korean-American author on a speaking tour through South Korea. There is a South Korean national security law that prescribes imprisonment for supporting North Korea. In America, things are different. While you might be shamed for the government, they won't arrest you for supporting their enemies.
Makes clear we are a country that has welcomed people of every race and every faith. We are home to Muslims who worship across our country. We not only respect the freedom of religion, we have laws that protect individuals from being harmed because of how they look or what they believe. We understand why people take offense to this video because millions of our citizens are among them. I know there are some who ask, why don't we just ban such a video? And the answer is enshrined in our laws. Our Constitution protects the right to practice free speech. Here in the United States, countless publications provoke offense. Like me, the majority of Americans are Christian, and yet we do not ban blasphemy against our most sacred beliefs. As president of our country and commander-in-chief of our military, I accept that people are going to call me awful things every day. And I will always defend their right to do so. Americans have fought and died around the globe to protect the right of all people to express their views, even views that we profoundly disagree with. We do not do so because we support hateful speech, but because our founders understood that without such protections, the capacity of each individual to express their own views and practice their own faith may be threatened. We do so because in a diverse society, efforts to restrict speech can quickly become a tool to silence critics and oppress minorities. We do so because, given the power of faith in our lives and the passion that religious differences can inflame, the strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression, it is more speech. The voices of tolerance that rally against bigotry and blasphemy and lift up the values of understanding and mutual respect. Now, I know that not all countries in this body share this particular understanding of the protection of free speech. We recognize that. But in 2012, at a time when anyone with a cell phone can spread offensive views around the world with a click of a button, the notion that we can control the flow of information is obsolete. And the question then is, how do we respond? And on this, we must agree. There is no speech that justifies mindless violence. There are no words that excuse the killing of innocents. There's no video that justifies an attack on an embassy. There's no slander that provides an excuse for people to burn a restaurant in Lebanon or destroy a school in Tunis, or cause death and destruction in Pakistan. In this modern world, with modern technologies, for us to respond in that way to hateful speech empowers any individual who engages in such speech to create chaos around the world. We empower the worst of us if that's how we respond. More broadly, the events of the last 2 weeks also speak to the need for all of us to honestly address the tensions between the West and the Arab world that is moving towards democracy.
Second, freedom of religion. Everyone has their own beliefs. Whether they believe in a God or not, you have the freedom of choice, which is essential for a true democracy. America was built with the idea of true freedom in mind. That includes the freedom to stay true to your own beliefs without having to compromise because others do not share your ideas. That is what it means to be an American, to respect your own religion and others while not creating laws with them in mind and focusing on the greater good of all.
And when we joined the BBC, we were told, because we all said it doesn't work, this is not right. They said, no, don't worry. We have a legal contract with the company, with this Saudi company, for 10 years. So you are safe in your jobs here. 18 months later, BBC Arabic television was shut down because the Saudi government told the company, the private company, that they have to stop it. They cannot take it. They don't tolerate the fact that the BBC Arabic television was presenting the opposition to the Saudi government or to some other governments allied with the Saudis. And they couldn't tolerate the fact that the television was presenting reports and documentaries about the abuses of human.
Freedom of press. The news is an essential part of staying informed in a democracy. America was created with the ideal of citizens voting and making well-informed decisions. Nowadays, that means giving the press the freedom they need to write what they have to talk about for leaders. In some countries, the press is not free, and they are restricted by the government. This can lead to dictators and others taking advantage of the citizens. However, we are lucky to have a free press where the corruptness of the government can be revealed and therefore reformed. The freedom of petition. Petitions are important in our democracy. Citizens can have a voice, and enough can even bring an issue to Congress. It allows citizens a chance to get their voice heard without changing the system we have set in place, and gives more power to the people. Freedom of assembly. The power of freedom of assembly is evident when looking throughout our history, from protests of Vietnam, civil rights, and Wall Street. It allows citizens to gather to share their thoughts. It is important for ideas to be spread, and sometimes the government doesn't work in favor of the citizens. The citizens can gather support for their cause.